Hello everybody, my name is Nathan, and I am the man with a cartoon obsession. I'm sure most people are familiar with an anime dubbing company by the name of 4Kids Entertainment. I know a lot of people hate them, or hated them, I guess, since they're no longer in business. I won't deny that I hate aspects of the company, but I have positives to say about them as well. Before we get into that though, I just want to say that my last two videos haven't been doing as well as I was hoping for, and I put a lot of work into them, so if you haven't watched them yet, I would appreciate it if you did so, especially 5 animated works that made me cry. I would also greatly appreciate it if you could take just a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more animation related content, usually every other Saturday. With all that out of the way, allow me to talk about my love-hate relationship with 4Kids Entertainment. For 2 decades, 4Kids was primarily known for licensing and dubbing anime for an American audience, and more specifically for a younger American audience. They also dabbled in Western animation from time to time, but anime was more so their forte. Their dubs used to be staples of Saturday morning animation back when that was still a big thing. Their shows were featured on programming blocks such as Kids WB, Foxbox, 4Kids TV, Toonzai, Toonami, and more. It was impossible to escape 4Kids dubs if you were watching cartoons on Saturday mornings from the 90s through the 2010s. You might still see a Pokemon movie or something of the sort on TV from time to time, but for the most part 4Kids programming is no longer seen on television. Of course, some of it is still available on streaming services. While 4Kids was huge and had its fans, the company was also met with a lot of criticism. There are plenty of anime elitists out there who think that all dubs suck and people should only watch anime subbed. Obviously, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I have a problem with it when people act like their opinion is the only one that matters, though. Some of us prefer watching dubbed anime, and that's our choice. In the case of 4Kids dubs, though, well, you may be better off watching the shows subbed if you want to get the more accurate translation. However, it has been well documented that some of the lines from 4Kids dubs are legendary.
That's right, Poopy Head! My mommy says I'm really strong!
So what if I betrayed my father to Mars, then betrayed Mars about the betrayal? I know 2 wrongs don't make a right, but I have 3 wrongs. That's equal to 1 right with a remainder of 1 wrong. That should reverse everything. I'm in the clear!
These donuts are great! Jelly-filled are my favorite! Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
These lines may be funny, but let's be real, they're not all that good. It's a common practice for dubbing companies to change certain lines to localize them more for Western audiences, and I don't have a problem with that practice when it's executed well. 4Kids, however, executed it poorly on many occasions. 4Kids is not the only company that has given us terrible localized dialogue, by the way, but it is one of, if not the most infamous one of the bunch. Look, I get that nuances of the Japanese language and some parts of their culture may not translate well to Western audiences, but come on. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what rice is, so was it really necessary to call rice balls jelly donuts? I'll never understand that, as well as changing characters' names to make them Americanized, but again, they're not the only ones guilty of doing this. I also don't understand some of the choices for accents given to these characters. The most obvious example I can give is Joey Wheeler, since we all know he's from the Brooklyn region of Japan.
Huh? What are you saying, Mai? That maybe we should be more like you? Well, I guess we could do that. I'm gorgeous. I'm such a great duelist. I love me. How's that?
To tell you the truth, I don't even think this accent is bad. It just feels out of place. Yes, 4Kids was based in New York City, but most of the shows that they were dubbing were not. Joey Wheeler's Brooklyn Rage is iconic by this point, of course, and admittedly, it's impossible for me to imagine the character speaking any other way, but that doesn't mean it was necessarily the best choice. The biggest problem I have with 4Kids, of course, is the censorship. Again, I get it, some things won't fly, but did Sanji's cigarette have to be replaced with a lollipop? I feel like they could have at least given him a toothpick or something less lame. To be fair though, I can't fully place the blame on 4Kids. At the 2019 Fan Expo Canada, Eric Stewart, who voiced Meta Knight in Kirby Right Back At Ya, Brock and James in Pokemon, and most famously Seto Kaiba in Yu-Gi-Oh!, was asked a question regarding the censorship, and stated that those were not the decisions of 4Kids, but of the networks. They had to submit the scripts to the networks, and the networks were the ones who told them what they had to change. Again, I feel like some better compromises could have been made, but I do understand that 4Kids crew's hands were pretty much tied. There are different broadcast rules and laws in America than there are in Japan, especially during Saturday morning children's cartoon blocks, which is when these programs primarily aired. If anything slipped through that was deemed inappropriate for the viewers, it would have been on the networks. Since the networks were giving 4Kids the opportunity to air their programming, 4Kids had to do what they were told. It's unfortunate that they didn't have more leeway, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Besides, it's not like 4Kids was all bad anyway. While the accents and voices of some characters and the lines they said were questionable, the voice actors themselves were, and still are, actually very talented. Say what you will, but they were just doing their jobs and reading the scripts that were presented to them. Besides, most of, if not all of, the voice actors worked on non-4Kids projects to further showcase their talents. Just in case you're curious, some of my favorite 4Kids voice actors include the aforementioned Eric Stewart, Tara Sands, who voiced Bulbasaur and Mokuba, Veronica Taylor, who voiced Ash Ketchum, Dan Green, who voiced Yugi Muto and the Pharaoh, and Wayne Grayson, who voiced Joey Wheeler. I know I criticized the Brooklyn accent earlier, but I also said I couldn't imagine the character without it. Besides, he doesn't use that accent for all of his roles. Let's talk about the theme songs. If you're a longtime viewer of the channel, you may remember that I put the One Piece 4Kids theme song at the top of my favorite anime theme songs list. A list that could stand to be redone, by the way. Regardless, the theme song is very corny and just plain ridiculous. Granted, that's what I love about it, and that's what I like about all of their theme songs. I guarantee I'm in the minority, but I really don't care. The theme songs for 4Kids dubs, as silly as they tended to be, were still catchy, energetic, and fun. For the last thing I want to commend 4Kids for, I'll refer to Eric Stewart's response at that panel I mentioned earlier once again. He mentioned that 4Kids managed to turn anime from the niche medium it used to be to the pop culture phenomenon it is now. It was because of 4Kids that shows like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Were able to be broadcast on TV instead of just being something you would find at a video store. I don't know about you guys, but I was very much into getting VHS tapes and DVDs of anime back in the day, even before I knew what anime really was. And I still buy anime physically to this day, but not everybody does, and even back then not everybody did. Therefore, 4Kids gave these shows a wider audience. Now let's keep in mind that 4Kids was not the only anime dubbing company around at that time, and shows from those other companies were shown on TV as well. However, 4Kids shows were shown on broadcast networks such as Fox and the CW, whereas shows that were dubbed by companies like Funimation and Geneon were shown on cable networks, most notably Cartoon Network. In case you're unaware, broadcast television has a much wider reach than cable, so while I don't think it's fair to give all the credit to 4Kids for making anime as popular as it is in America, it's safe to say that if 4Kids never existed, anime probably would not have blown up in the West like it did. Personally speaking, 4Kids was a huge part of my anime viewing experience as a kid. I did watch other anime when I was younger, anime that 4Kids had nothing to do with, but if I wasn't into shows like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or even the 4Kids dub of One Piece when I was younger, I have to wonder if I would be as big of an anime fan as I am today. Despite the problems I have with 4Kids, I at least have to acknowledge that it helped me get into anime, and that, my friends, is an important part of my cartoon obsession. At the end of the day, any company is going to have its fans and its critics. The point of this video isn't to change people's minds on how they should feel about 4Kids. After all, I highly doubt I said anything that hasn't already been said before. I just made this video to voice my opinions on the company and why I think they didn't deserve all the hate they got and still get. Remember though, these are just my opinions. What are your guys' opinions on 4Kids Entertainment? Feel free to tell me in the comments. I'd love to know.
Look out! It's gonna blow! The Fox Box is now 4Kids TV!
We're 4Kids!
Are you 4Kids?
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have any other cartoons, anime, or other animated works that you want me to talk about in the future, please let me know. After all, it's not my channel, it's our channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to check out my social media pages, audition for an outro, and join the official Cartoon Obsession Discord, the links for all of which are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
I am Vegeta, and thank you for watching Cartoon Obsession. Is it over now? Can I quit?